Hi, sixth graders, this is Mrs. Gall. Today we're going to talk through rate of change. Go ahead and open your notebook to a fresh page with this title at the top and press play when you're ready to continue. Our first example is going to involve kite surfing, and if you're not sure what that is, here's a picture on the water trying to get airtime. And here's a graph of what this would look like. Our time in seconds is going to be our unit for our x-axis, and height in feet is our unit for our y-axis. Also pay close attention to our number lines. They are counting by twos. Let's look at what's happening to the kite surfer's height from different points to the other. What's happening in the kite surfer's height from point A to point B? Here's A, here's B. Well, I notice every 2 boxes, so that would be 4 feet, we travel up. 2 seconds, 2 boxes, so 4 seconds is how much time has passed. So for every 4 feet traveled, 4 seconds has passed from point A to point B. Could we simplify that? Sure. Every 1 foot took how much time? 1 second. Let's look at another set of points. What's happening from point B to point C? Well, height-wise, we started at 4 feet. We shot all the way up to 10 feet, so we went up 6 feet. How long did that take time-wise? Well, we only shifted over 1 box from B to C, so that took 2 seconds. Could we simplify that? Sure. Divide both by 2. We would get 3 feet per second from point B to point C. Can you guess which one I might ask about next? Let's look at point C to point D. What happened? How many feet did we travel? None. This is that hang time in the air, so 0 feet for height over how much time has passed. Looks like we went over 2 boxes, so 4 seconds from point C to D. And my very last set of points would be from point D to E. What happened here? It looks like height-wise we went down 2 feet and in 4 seconds over 2 whole boxes. And that was a decrease in height, so we could use a negative there to represent that. And that would simplify to down 1 foot every 2 seconds. Okay, I'm going to kind of delete that work so you can see what's going to happen here in this last question. Between which 2 consecutive points did the height of the kite surfer increase the most? How do you know? So we only had 2 areas of the graph that increased because this right here was a decrease. These 2 points, it stayed the same. So did we increase more from A to B or B to C? What do you think? Well, when we simplified here, we knew that for every 1 foot, it was taking 1 second. But from B to C, we went 3 feet in 1 second. So B to C, we increased the most. A vocab term I'd like you to write down is rate of change. It's the rate that describes how one quantity changes in relation to another quantity. For example, if we look back at our kite surfing example, the rate of change from B to C was 3 feet per 1 second. That is describing one quantity feet and how it compares to another quantity seconds. Press pause if you need more time for that definition. Let's look at an airplane's position. This is the horizontal position of the plane, and then vertical. So remember, as the airplane travels horizontally forward, it's also starting to increase up into the air vertically. So that's kind of why we have 2 different positions here for feet. So you can kind of envision an airplane kind of going steady forward at one altitude, and then it might have to go up to a different altitude, so we start to see that take place in this graph. So let's look at the rate of change from A to B. What's happening from A to B? Not much. We are actually staying, let's write this out here. So from A to B, we've traveled, each box is worth 200 feet here. So we traveled 400 feet horizontally. Did we travel any vertically? No, and I'm going to put vertical up top. So that vertical change is going to go up top. We traveled 0 feet over 400 feet horizontally. Now let's look from B to C. We do see an increase here with our plane. From B to C, we traveled up one box. And if we look over here, that would have been 400 feet for one box vertically. Over how much horizontal change? We have 2 boxes. And it looks like each box here is, like I said, 200 feet. So that means that was 400 feet horizontally. Can we simplify that? Sure, for every 1 foot, we went horizontally, and we also went 1 foot vertically. Right, because that would be 400, 600, 800, yes. Let's look at our change from C to D. Now our plane is starting to decrease in position vertically. We traveled, let's see, vertically we went down 1 box, so we went down 400 feet vertically. Notice we're using that negative to represent the down position. And we traveled 200 and then half of a box. So half of 200 would be 100, so that's 300 feet horizontally. So negative 400 feet over 300 feet, we could simplify by dividing by 100 to get negative 4 over 3 for that change. And my very last comparison here, oh, no, sorry, got a couple more. We have D to E next. So D to E, we notice again, horizontally we're moving, but we have not moved vertically. So since we have 0 vertical movement, that top vertical is going to be 0 feet over how much horizontal movement? Half of a box is 100, a full box is 200, so that's 300 feet. Sorry, that looks like an 8, it should be a 0. And my very last change here was from E to F. We notice quite a big increase there as we go from E to F. Vertically, we jumped up 2 boxes, each box being worth 400, so together that's 800 feet vertically. Over 1 box horizontally, which is only 200 feet. We could simplify that, divide both of those by 200. We end up with 4 over 1. That means for every 4 feet vertically, we traveled 1 foot horizontally there. So just remember, when we're looking at rate of change, we're looking at what's happening, what change vertically is happening over what change horizontally. And we're comparing, just like when we talked through our definition, we're comparing how one quantity changes in relation to another quantity. So we want to make sure if we're dealing with time and height, we're including seconds and feet, and looking at what's happening from the first point to the second point. Check in with your teacher if you have any questions.